How a bunny girl skin almost cost the life of Genshin Impact CEO. You know what's crazy? This scene has been like almost like taboo to talk about. Now, what's interesting is I've talked about this situation many times because I like highlighting the dumb that people do in this community. And by dumb, I mean this is borderline criminal. But yeah, this is criminal. But it's nice to see somebody else calling out the bullshit as well, because this is disgusting. And this happened like what, like 3 years ago, I think? And everybody's like, oh, don't talk about it, don't talk about it, don't talk about it. I hate that ideology. Oh, just ignore it, it'll go away. That's not how the real world works. But I'm curious to hear somebody else talk about this issue that I've been talking about for years.
Look, we're used to seeing people get crazy online, okay? A quick interaction on Twitter or Reddit with any fandom is going to be very clear about that. But thankfully, for the most part, people keep their grievances online.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're a content creator, the one thing that you have to accept is you are going to see the stupid, dumbish, the most untrue about yourself over and over and over and over again. And if you can't handle people constantly lying and slandering your name, I mean this genuinely, don't become a content creator. Because if you get big enough, if you get relevant enough, people are going to call you every slur in the book on repeat forever. It's the truth. And no one is immune to that unless they get incredibly lucky. Being talk and slandered online comes with the job in content creation. People don't get that.
All right. Not this time, though, because a man showed up with 2 different knives from another city intending to murder the 2 co-founders of the company behind Genshin Impact.
Actually insane.
Mihoyo. And the worst part is the motive behind all this. It could not be dumber than this.
This story is so crazy that it was picked up by practically every single gaming outlet there is. I mean, look at how many. But this incident didn't happen randomly. There were many different things that led up to it.
So at this point, you might already feel shocked over how deranged this is, but trust me, once we delve deeper into the context, it'll get way worse.
No, I mean, I don't know how anybody would feel off-put or confused or wondering what they're missing here. I mean, it's the Mihoyoverse community. Like, if you haven't learned anything from the shit that the Genshin Impact community has done by now, you are a lost cause. These people are f***ing nuts, and before that, Genshin Impact became Honkai Impact. Right? I mean, you've seen the for the Honkai Impact community. If you like a character, if you like a female, you get called lesbian phobic because you think a lesbian a head-canoned lesbian is attractive in a video game. No, straight males can't like females' tits if they're a lesbian in my head canon. This shit is wild. No, this is not surprising, or at least it should not be surprising to anybody who's played this game or looked online one form in their entire life.
So get ready. This is gonna be a roller coaster.
Guys, just like gacha games, there are too many browsers out there, and too many of them lack the excitement I'm looking for. This is why I'd like to thank
Opera GX Pagman.
Hell yeah. The deal. Mihoyo has not always been as huge as they are today. In fact, what can say they truly went main?
In case you're wondering, Mihoyo is the previous name of Hoyoverse. They're the same company.
Mainstream when Genshin Impact released back at the end of 2020. Before this, they weren't really very well known within the Western hemisphere of the world. Their influence was mostly centered in Asia.
100%.
And what truly started this influence was Honkai Impact 3rd. This game put them on the map, so to speak, before Genshin Impact brought them to the mainstream.
And Breath of the Wild let Genshin Impact copy Breath of the Wild, and that brought them to the Western mainstream because Breath of the Wild was such a huge hit. Oh my God, there's a new Breath of the Wild and it's free. That really brought out players to play Genshin Impact.
It just so happens to be the game centered around this crazy incident.
So look, you know the drill. When a game releases globally, there's a version that everyone plays. And then there's a version Chinese players play. Okay? Now, yeah, of course, there's game regions like Europe, North America, whatever. But this isn't about regions, nor is it about localizations. The game Rainbow Six Siege from Ubisoft did it differently, though. They didn't want to make 2 versions, so they just censored the already existing version before going to the Chinese market. And that caused a lot of backlash. I mean, look at these changes, dude. This is ridiculous.
Actually insane.
The reason why I'm telling you all this is because one of the main roots of this incident is the adversity between the global servers and the Chinese servers both getting different kinds of content.
Yeah, China is very pro-censorship. And very against lewd-natured things, which is a shame because Hoyoverse, who arguably makes the best characters for porn, I mean, let's just be real, Raiden, Shogun, Yai Miko, Eula, Kafka, people aren't looking at those characters being like, wow, they're so cool. They're thinking, holy shit, I want to that. Let's just be 100% real. Hoyoverse isn't a game company. They're a waifu company through and through, and that's why they got popular.
Now, typically Chinese companies, especially in the gacha space, are going to have collaborations. Let's take the example of Genshin Impact. The majority of Genshin Impact collaborations are in China, not available globally.
Yep.
Now, yeah, sure, there's been global collaborations like Razer or Prime Gaming, but...
And once again, this, and I want to have Hoyoverse's back here real quick. This special products and designs and events for China only, it isn't exclusive to just Hoyoverse. Other Chinese mobile games have done this as well, for Arknights as well. Arknights has also done a Chinese-only event. Genshin did do that as well with the gliders and all that jazz. But yeah, a lot of companies do this, but I do hate it nonetheless. I don't think that excuses it. I think it's bullshit. You're gonna make an event for some people, you have to make it for all. Saying, no, this is only for China, that's wild.
But that's about it. But in China, they go with anything from Pizza Hut to Samsung to Xiaomi to Cadillac, bro. Cadillac. And this isn't just some like marketing collaboration. No, it goes way deeper. This is just so funny to me. Like,
what?
You have the prices, you have the units, like they literally painted Cadillacs with Genshin characters, a full-on collaboration.
I've never heard
and
of this.
On top of this,
that's
you
the dumbest I've ever seen.
Rewards for buying the car.
You buy a Beidou themed car, 60 Primo gems, boys.
20,000 Primogems, 100,000 Mora, some bundles. It is a furniture item if you bought a Cadillac, bro.
What the fuck?
China has a completely different meaning of what a collab means, okay?
Holy
and of course, all of these things are exclusive only to Chinese players.
Buy the car, use the code, return the car. That easy. Free 20K, boys. Free 20K.
They are on a different server playing a different version of the game. This leaves global players thinking, man, it'd be nice to get something for once, but other than just asking Mihoyo occasionally, there's nothing crazy that happens.
Yep.
Now, in the life cycle of a gacha game, anniversaries are extremely important.
100%.
Players expect so much from you.
Yeah, and they get disappointed every time.
And this makes developers very nervous, because we've seen examples where it went well, but we've mostly seen examples where it went horribly wrong. With how Genshin, for example, on their first anniversary, players were so disappointed they took down the entirety of Google Play Store, okay? Now, when it comes to Honkai Impact 3rd, here's what you have to understand.
Okay.
There are no males, okay?
Yep.
This is a purely female game. There are only women. They cater to a very specific kind of demographic.
Yep.
So what served as the catalyst for an incident so crazy that its climax ended with an assassination attempt? For Honkai Impact's 3rd anniversary, Mihoyo did something unprecedented. Instead of giving everyone the same thing while giving China something a little extra, they decided to inverse it. But not just in any way, they went all out and released this video exclusively for the global audience, where a bunch of characters, some of the most popular from Honkai Impact 3rd, are dressed up in bunny suits dancing. Now, please bear in mind, okay, these are not in-game skins. This is just merely a music video, and the in-game event is centered around it, okay? Remember this for later. It'll make the whole incident even crazier. As soon as this came out, and I'm not even kidding, as soon as this came out, the Chinese internet erupted. The whole point of this event was to reward the global audience by giving them something special. And
when China gets stuff for China, it's fine. When global gets shit for global, it's a big deal. The world's biggest temper tantrum over seeing some boobs in a bunny outfit where they try to kill the CEO. And the worst thing is, so many people try to cover this shit up. It is one of the most embarrassing, horrific events of all time.
And it also couldn't be implemented in China due to the strict rules around video games and sexualization. To a lot of Chinese people, a bunny outfit signifies someone being a whore or a prostitute. The loud.
And what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Honestly, what's wrong with that? Okay? Hey, so somebody likes to do what you want. I'll be real, boys. It's the oldest profession in the book. Okay? And I'll be real. Okay? Your mom, who's a gold digger, who's married to your 60-year-old dad because they have money, they don't love each other. That's just prolonged prostitution as well. Okay? When somebody marries the other person for money, That's just prolonged prostitution with a loophole via legalities. Let's just be 100% real.
Noticed voices online were saying that this was insulting as they were pandering to Western fetishes using their favorite characters.
Yep.
But for Mihoyo, this was the least of their worries, because many players were making this out to be a national patriotism issue, saying that they're a betrayer and that they should pick a side. Okay? You're already kind of seeing how crazy it's getting, and we're only getting started. Now look, I want to be clear. I don't want to sit here and say that this was the entire Chinese Honkai Impact 3rd community.
Of course, but it was the loud, vocal part of me. I don't want to say minority, okay? The vocal, the very vocal side, okay? These posts have like 280 upvotes, 100 upvotes. The other thing is, Reddit dumbasses exist on Reddit. Twitter dumbasses exist on Twitter. I cannot tell you to this day how many people don't know about this because it's talked on platforms that nobody gives a about. But the problem is, with the way Redditors talk about Reddit issues, it makes you think that it is everybody who it is talking about. So that is a very good point that he pointed out, okay? I'll be real. You want to know how to ignore 99% of completely unforgivable actions that this happened or this happened? Just don't go on Reddit, and then all of a sudden you never hear about them because nobody gives a about these things besides Redditors. Want to know why? Because they are aggressively idiotic and chronically online.
In fact, there's this thread
if you uninstall Twitter, suddenly the world doesn't seem like too bad of a place after all.
By a Chinese player that gives us a glimpse of how complex this is. At first, Chinese players were sad that this wasn't going to be included in their region. But then all of a sudden you saw this new breed of players that just hated Mihoyo and wanted to see the company die. He theorizes that they could be bots hired by rival companies. Hey man, Chinese internet is the Wild West, what the hell? But in the end, it didn't matter. The wildfire had started and nothing was stopping it. And this was a big problem, because behind the scenes, Mihoyo was starting to fucking panic, okay?
Were they?
Why, you ask? Well, it's simple. They were having flashbacks. 2 years prior to the Bunny Girl incident, there was another incident.
Wait a minute. I don't know if I've ever heard of this.
The first of its kind, also involving the Chinese community. That incident was more simple. It didn't involve any assassination, thankfully, but it did involve the Chinese government.
I've never heard of this.
It all started with a player, not this guy, a Chinese player saving up money to buy a skin for his favorite character, the Frigid Empress costume. So for this player on Reddit, as you can see, it took them around $50 to get the skin. That's not cheap. But the Chinese player saved up for it anyway because it's a skin for his wife. You simply wouldn't understand.
Yeah, of course.
But hey, he was happy.
You buy a $10,000 ring for a girl in real life and no one bats an eye. You buy a $50 outfit for your internet waifu and all of a sudden you're crazy. What's the difference?
That's until Mihoyo released another skin for the same character and announced that it won't cost a penny. It'll be totally free to all players.
Okay.
There's not a single person on this planet who dislikes free stuff unless you're that Chinese player. Because to him, he had saved up money to get a skin for his favorite character. And all of a sudden, everyone can get a skin for that character for free.
Straight
so
up
what did he do?
illness.
Did he just delete his account, uninstall, touch grass? Of course not. He filed an official report to the Cyberspace Administration of China. Why can't certain people just be fucking normal, man?
Imagine that. Video games that pander to mentally ill people have mentally ill players. Can you imagine that? Wow. Pandering to anime fans and pandering to gambling addicts. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
The Cyberspace Administration pretty much monitors everything that goes on online in terms of digital content. The report in itself, from what I understand, was about how right here, under the skirt, this was a bit too suggestive.
Oh my God.
And on top of this, the report was about the bikini skin.
Suggestive of what? That she has an ass? I mean, good God. Who cares? Like, bro. They have a butt. Oh my God, I'm going to lose my mind. These people freak out over nothing, man. I'll be real. Women should be allowed to go out in anime and in life in pasties and underwear. Okay, we all know what's underneath there anyways. And even if you don't, you're eventually going to find out regardless. It's not that big of a deal, my opinion.
Skins that were available in the game. Now look, they're illegal in China, but they were in the game anyway.
He snitched! This resulted in these skins not being available anymore unless you claimed them way back then. If you make an account now, you're not going to get them. They're not in the game anymore.
Oh my God.
And it also resulted in some censorship surrounding the skin. Now, Chinese people did not approve of this at all. This was one bad apple that ruined the fun for everyone.
Yep.
There was even a post made about this on Bilibili, which is the Chinese equivalent of YouTube. And the reply to the top comment, okay, is...
You know what's insane? I have more channel views on Bilibili than I have on YouTube. Because they take my content so much and re-upload it. They call me the guy on Bilibili. It's actually insane.
Someone pretty much saying, this is all his game info, report him. He's a really bad translation. Just everyone's welcome to report him. Go ahead, you know? They also doxed him and bullied him off the internet. Just like this top reply on the thread said, this kid has some issues. Let's bully him together, folks.
I mean, I'll be real, bro. The majority of dumbasses, the reason why they are sticking with their behavior is because they never got bullied when they were a kid. Okay? I used to walk around in eyeshadow and a wristband and just be depressed every day until I got beat up and called a pussy. Bullying helps people grow up. All right? Hey, boys, we need to bring bullying back. Okay? Teachers should have belts. Okay, that's that's too far. Bring bullying back.
But this ended up putting Mihoyo under the microscope of the Chinese government, something you don't want at all. So going back to the bunny girl incident, this was doing the same thing, in a way. In China, no matter what you do, you don't want to disturb the peace, all right? So if online, there's a bunch of people saying that your company's anti-Chinese, and you're rallying discontent, threatening to disturb the peace, buddy, that's a big problem. So, hey man, immediately they took this video off Bilibili straight up and posted an official statement, which was pretty much an apology on Twitter. They removed anything that has to do with the anniversary event with bunny girls in it. They adjusted the art that they made in-game for it.
Shame.
And finally, they gave compensation of 500 crystals, which is worth like such a measly amount of money. It's like under $10. This was a huge middle finger to anyone that was non-Chinese as a player playing Honkai Impact 3. What started as a nice gesture ended...
All right. I don't think calling that a huge middle finger to the anti or the non-Chinese players is accurate, okay? They were afraid, they had to retract it out of the fear of their own safety. I really don't think that's a huge middle finger. Okay, they were worried about the state of their game, the state of their community. They tried to do something nice. It didn't work. I don't think taking that back as they were afraid is a huge middle finger. I think it's more like they backpedaled because they were scared. My opinion, but you can see that however you like.
In disaster.
I never am on the side of the company, but a huge middle finger, I don't know about that.
And on top of this, okay, on top of this, the 500 crystals were insulting, especially because Chinese players, from what I understand, received 5 times that.
Okay, there it is. All right, now it was. Okay, now that's f***ed up. They compensated China
that amount. So if you were a Chinese player that was pissed at this, listen, you got an apology and you got a lot of free stuff. If you're a global player, though, you just realized you will never have nice things.
Never.
Wait, actually, what?
Okay, so now I agree. That is a huge middle finger. I don't think retracting the video and compensating everybody equally for 500 gems is a bad idea. I do think it's really bad where they retract the video, compensate the CN community more, and then give the global community less. That is actually f***ed up.
What are the hidden comments? It was the
But it is what I've saying for years. It does not matter what global players say unless they can get CN to parrot the same shit. Okay, you want to know how I got the weapon banner changed? Because I got the CN players to talk about it, right? That's how it goes, unfortunately, whether you like it or not.
Chinese Honkai players. Chinese players hated that video.
There they are. There's all of my stolen Tectone Chinese videos. Dude, I don't know how many views this is in American, but yep. This is all of my content that people yoinked and just posted. And I don't even know what to do about it. Wait, is this actually 134 million views? Or is it 1.34 million? Copy strike them? Don't know. More exposure? Yeah, no, I have no problem with this. This is more exposure. I just hope they link my American channels. 1.34 million views? Yeah, it's fucking insane. All right, anyways.
Congrats, Chinese. You ruined a piece of entertainment that it wasn't even for you.
Yep.
This is fucking stupid. Why not release it for just global then, since we love our waifus unlike other servers? I wonder which one you're talking about. All good. Sure, it will be uploaded plenty more after this. What's this? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. They removed the bunny girl re-upload. Holy shit.
Actually insane.
It's actually crazy how they didn't even use like a third-party person to remove it. No, it just straight up says Mihoyo removed it. Damn. That's sad to see because I really love the bunny outfits. That's literally just him posting the video. And he got his comment hidden. That is crazy. So as you see, this caused a big anti-China sentiment for the global servers. And they were pretty damn pissed at Mihoyo too. But Mihoyo was willing to deal with it as long as back home everything was fine. And as far as they were concerned, this was it. The controversy was behind them, and they avoided another oversight by the Chinese government.
Surely.
Or did they? Because not even 2 days afterwards, okay, on April 24th, a news article comes out on Baidu saying, it is said that the suspect, this is his name, was dissatisfied with the overseas promotion of Mihoyo company and wanted to wait for an opportunity to come to Shanghai with a knife to kill the two founders of the company. And then plan to commit suicide by jumping off the building.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So bear in mind, this wasn't just a murder plot. This was a murder-suicide plot. It's that crazy. As temporary residents in Foshan City, the suspects searched the identity and the photos of the two founders of the company on the internet and purchased two controlled knives, curved blades, about 9 centimeters long, sharpened through the internet. However, he was arrested on the spot.
He sharpened them through the internet? Bro has a digital blade.
It's crazy.
He enchanted with a firewall.
Okay, he came to this city and genuinely thought this was gonna work. He was gonna kill the two founders of the company and then just
he would kill the two founders and then kill himself and then get reincarnated in the waifu paradise for saving all of the desperately in danger Honkai Star Rail waifus. Oh my God, my hero! You saved the evil. You saved me from the evil Dewey. Oh, let me shower you in my titties. Yeah, what can I say? Do you like when I splattered on the fucking pavement? What a fucking moron. Also, by the way, you have 5 seconds to follow the stream and subscribe to the YouTube. Thank you very much.
Jump off. And you have to understand.
Chill, bro.
And Mihoyo isn't just some random developer in China, all right? This is one of the most sought after employers in the entirety of China. I mean, Asia too, globally even. They have offices in LA, for example. But this campus in Shanghai is akin to going to the HQ of Ubisoft in Paris or sneaking into the Riot Games campus in LA. This isn't like, this is a big deal. This is a big deal. So as I said in the beginning of the video, when players are pissed, they make it known online, sometimes leading to even harassing the developers, unfortunately. But here, all it took was a bunny girl video. This was just a promotional video. This is what's insane. It wasn't even a
Okay, I'm gonna just say it, bro.
Was a bunny girl video. This was just video a promotional video. This is what's insane.
I can't believe people fought against this. That's what makes me so fucking angry, bro. Because this is so fire. And this is the reason why we don't have any bunny girl skins or sexy skins in Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact. It actually makes me sick. The ripple effects of this event have gone underneath cacophony in perpetuity. It's a shame. Because, dude, can you imagine bunny girl Eula? Right? Or beach slut Kafka? Right? Or cum whore Raiden Shogun? Like, imagine those skins, man. And we'll never see them. We'll never see them because people are afraid. Okay? Admit it'd be wild, though. Admit it'd be wild. You know? But if that's what you're looking for, go to Azure Lane and Nikkei.
Insane. It wasn't even a skin. They didn't even release anything in game. They just released a music video with a small event centered around it. And this was somehow enough, okay, for someone to take up temporary residency in Shanghai, buy 2 knives, sharpened, and come up with a plan that includes his suicide
and
the murder of 2 people. For what? Honestly, it's one of the craziest things to come out of this industry, period. You tell anyone who plays Honkai Impact 3rd, you just say the sentence, bunny girl incident. You will see in their eyes the 1,000-yard stare. Okay? The 1,000-yard stare. Because they know, hey, that was an incident. So what was the aftermath?
Dude, you know the crazy thing is, I played Genshin for quite some time and I never heard of it. I tried Honkai Impact, and then I was talking about accidentally how good a character would look if they had a bunny suit skin. And the amount of awares that were in my chat were f***ing nuts.
Global players were definitely shocked at seeing what happened in terms of the assassination attempt, but it didn't change the fact that they still got a huge middle finger. Many players were looking forward to punishing Grey Raven, a game that was meant to compete with Honkai Impact 3rd,
and it would've. And PGR would have competed with Honkai Impact 3rd, but the problem is Kuro Games does not get how to advertise. The amount of people who have never even heard of this is astonishing because they have no idea how to get their product to be talked about, right? Because the worst thing is PGR is a very good game, right? Thankfully, Wuthering Waves is doing a little bit of marketing, but it doesn't matter how good your game is if nobody knows it can exist. It's the same thing with Monster Hunter World, okay? I got Asmongold to play it, and now the game's getting viewership and a player base, at least. It's even bigger than the one that rivaled the initial launch, and that's insane to me, because the game is so fucking good, but some of these companies just don't get how to get their name out there. It's nuts.
That many people were hyping up. It didn't really meet their expectations. And unfortunately, it released too late in the West because a year before it released in 2020, Genshin Impact had already come out and people were loving it. So then what did Mihoyo do? They did a crossover, Genshin x Honkai Impact, where official a Genshin character, as well as Keqing, yeah, her in the back, were brought into Honkai Impact 3rd. And things definitely calmed down by then. One could even say they went back to normal. But normal doesn't mean good. The Honkai Impact 3rd community, especially in China, has always been a hot topic. Because while Global have their issues with the game, China has completely different issues. And you can kind of see the sentiment on the Baidu article that first revealed the assassination attempt.
Imagine that.
The majority are against it, saying things like, not worth it. But there are some supporting him, saying things like, brave, thumbs up.
Jesus Christ.
So this might explain that the bunny girl incident wasn't the disease. It was the final symptom before it blew the hell up, and man did it blow up. And that's how it all somehow led up to the failed murder-suicide plot of the two co-founders of the studio behind Genshin Impact. All over a bunny girl costume. Make sure to subscribe for bunny girls.
Listen, man, I get it, right? When you say it out loud, it can sound really silly. But then when you realize how deranged these people are, it's just sickening, to be honest. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to have your name to be compared to these fucking weird fucks that do this dumbass shit that any normal human being wouldn't fucking do. And it really is just a bit. You can laugh about it all you want, but the reality is that shit's pathetic. And that shit better not happen ever again because it's a joke. It is a fucking joke, but that's just my opinion. Mugen, great video as always. Make sure to check out his channel. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing.